Welcome again to the Old Principle. I am the Old Principle, and this is an English instructional program. Now, today's lesson is number 168. It's very interesting. When I was looking on the internet for pictures, this is a very famous story. Very famous story. The slave and the lion. And so here we have the lion, 狮子, and the slave, 这个奴隶. Looks like he's got red hair, doesn't he? Have to think about that. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the slave and the lion, but before we do, let's listen to the whole story.
Story 168, The Slave and the Lion. There once was a slave named Androcles who escaped from his master and fled to the forest. As he was wandering about, he came upon a lion. The lion was lying down, moaning and groaning in great pain. At first, Androcles wanted to run away, but then turned back and slowly inched his way closer to the lion. As he came near, the lion put out his paw, which Androcles could now see was swollen and bleeding. He could see a large thorn embedded in the lion's paw, causing the poor animal great pain. Androcles removed the thorn, and after binding up the lion's paw, the lion was once again able to stand. Experiencing immediate relief from his terrible pain and feeling much gratitude, the lion enthusiastically licked the hand of Androcles just like a pet dog. The lion eventually led Androcles to his cave, and each day the lion would return from his hunt with some meat for his friend Androcles. Shortly after, however, both Androcles and the lion were captured, and the slave Androcles was sentenced to death. Androcles was to be thrown to the lion. The emperor and all his court came to witness the spectacle, which was considered great entertainment in those days. Androcles was led out into the middle of the arena, and very soon the lion, which had been kept without food for several days, was then let loose from his den. It came bounding towards its victim, roaring loudly. As soon as the lion reached Androcles, he recognized his friend, and instead of tearing him to pieces, the lion fawned over Androcles, licking his hand like a friendly dog. The emperor was extremely surprised at this, and summoned Androcles to come to him. Androcles told the emperor the whole story, whereupon the slave was pardoned and set free, and the lion was let loose to return to his native forest.
Welcome back. Now we begin here. There once was a slave, 奴隶, a slave. Okay, 奴隶. So he is working for someone else. He's forced to work for someone else named Androcles. Androcles. You can pronounce it several different ways. Androcles, Androcles, but we'll just pronounce it Androcles. Now this is a very old story, remember, and so Androcles was the slave who escaped from his master. So what did he do? Well, he escaped from his master. 他的主人他就跑掉，离开他的主人。So he left his master and he escaped. He ran away, 逃跑了。And fled to the forest. Okay, now I should say that fled, this is past tense. The present tense is to flee, F-L-E-E, 是逃跑的意思呢啊。So when it says he fled to the forest, he fled to the 森林, the forest where there are lots of trees going on. Now, he was wandering about. 他在那边流浪着的时候 Okay, wandering, 流浪着. He came upon a lion. That means he walked and saw a lion. He came upon, that doesn't mean he got on top of the lion. He came up to a lion, or fairly close to a lion. 还是要保持距离, still keeping his distance, but the lion was lying down, moaning and groaning in great pain. Well, moaning and groaning in great pain, lying down, 躺下来, and he was moaning and groaning in great pain. Okay, look at the last word, in great pain, 是很痛苦的 moaning and groaning. Now, moaning and groaning almost have the same meaning. And it's like, moaning and groaning 是一种这个低调的声音呢，痛苦的声音。The lion was moaning and groaning. So now, what to do going on? At first, Androcles wanted to what? Run away. 他还是要跑掉。He wanted to run away. But then he turned back. And what did he do? And slowly inched his way closer to the lion. So what does it mean to inch your way closer to the lion? 他是慢慢的一小步一小步，当然 inch 就是一英寸， so that's not very big, but anyway, he went a little closer, little closer, little closer to the lion. Okay, now, when he's getting close to the lion, as he came near, the lion put out his paw. Okay, 爪子, paw. We would say animals have paws. Human beings have feet. Okay, 爪子, okay. And he came near, and the lion put out his paw. Okay, put out his paw, which Androcles could see was swollen and bleeding. So the slave Androcles could see that the paw was swollen, 肿起来, swollen, and bleeding, 出血,流血. So it doesn't look like a very good situation, does it? Going on, he could see a large thorn. Okay, what is a thorn? A thorn is 刺, a thorn. 玫瑰花有 what? 刺. Of course, a beautiful flower, but the stems have 刺, thorns. A thorn is something that is sharp. He could see that there was a thorn, and what had happened to the thorn? it had embedded itself, embedded in the lion's paw. Embedded means 进入, 进入, okay? To embed in something 是进入在某某一个东西的中间，进入 okay? This thorn was embedded inside the lion's paw, and it was causing the poor animal great pain. Causing the animal, 使那个动物 much great pain, okay? And 使它很痛苦，非常非常痛。Going on. Androcles removed the thorn. Okay? He removed, 把那个刺就拿掉。He removed the thorn. And after binding up the lion's paw. Now this is very interesting. Androcles, I don't know what he used, maybe some of his own clothes. He bound it up. What does it mean to bind? You take cloth, or you take tape, 一些胶 how do you say 胶纸 or 胶布, and he bound it up. Of course, he didn't have tape in those days. He just had cloth, 只有布料. And maybe he made it into little pieces, and he bound it up. So what did he do? The slave Androcles has removed the thorn from the paw, and now he is binding it up. Okay, 绑 把这个绑好了 This is binding up. He's wrapping it up. 包好了 Going on. The lion then stood up. Okay, now that was on the last slide there. The lion actually stood up, and he was experiencing immediate relief from his terrible pain. Okay, to experience something 是经历 sometimes 是体验 but in this 经历 so immediately he is feeling much better. He's feeling good. The pain, the thorn. Of course, if you have a thorn in your paw, every time you put your paw down, what happens? Your paw goes down and it just hurts some more, doesn't it? Okay? From this terrible 可怕的这个痛苦. Go ahead. And feeling much gratitude. Okay. So now the lion, of course this is just a story, right? Right. Lions don't usually do this, but this is a story from the ancient world, 古时代的一个故事 And so the lion 有非常非常大的 gratitude. Okay? He was grateful. 他愿意 thank him. His gratitude is an attitude of gratefulness, of thankfulness. 他很想这个谢谢他. The lion enthusiastically, 很热烈的 enthusiastically 舔，用这个舌头舔 the hand of Androcles. Okay, so the lion is licking his hand. The lion is licking his hand just like a pet dog would do. 这个如果你有宠物，宠物好像一只狗啊，then a pet dog will lick your hand many times, lick you, 舔你的手. So the lion is acting like a pet dog, a friendly dog would do, licking the hand. Going on. The lion eventually, 最终, okay, eventually the lion led Androcles, okay, he led him to his cave. So the lion has a cave. 它有一个山洞. Okay, 它有一个山洞. And so he takes him and to his cave. He says, "This is my home. Come stay with me." Okay? Well, I mean, if the lion could talk. Obviously, the lion can't talk. So it says here, the lion eventually led Androcles to his cave, and each day the lion would return from his hunt. Okay, and hunt, you know what a hunter is, 打猎, okay, or 猎人. But for an animal to go on a hunt would be for an animal to 捕猎 or something like that, okay? So every day the animal would return from his hunt, okay, with some meat for his friend Androcles. Okay, so every day when he would come back. Now remember, the slave 已经逃跑了. So we say in English, 他是 persona non grata. Nobody wants him because he is a fugitive, he's a slave, he's run away from his master. 在那个文化, he's a bad person, 他是坏人等等. Okay? So, Androcles and the lion eventually, okay, shortly after all of this, okay, after all of this, however, 但是不幸, Androcles and the lion were captured, 被捉拿. Androcles and the lion, 两个都被捉拿. And the slave Androcles was sentenced to death. Okay, so now he was sentenced to death, meaning that 他们, I don't know who decided this, whether a court of justice or just the king or whoever, 但他们已经决定判死刑. He was going to have to die. So that's what's going to happen to Androcles. They considered him a bad person, so they're going to let him die. They're going to kill him. Okay? He was sentenced to death. 要判死刑. Going on. Androcles was to be thrown to the lion. So, this is their form of entertainment, as we will see. Androcles 要丢给那个狮子, thrown to the lion, and let the lion eat up Androcles. So they were captured. I don't know how, but they were captured So Androcles 就是丢给这个 lion. Of course, the lion would be very hungry and he would eat Androcles. Correct? Well, just a moment. The emperor 皇帝这个王皇帝 and all of his court, 他围绕着皇帝的 court, 那是大臣等等啊。And the court came to witness the spectacle, 这个画面 okay? So they've come to watch this very well, it would be sad in a way, a sad story, but strangely, and I don't know why, the people of that era, long, long ago, they thought that this was great entertainment. 巨大的, 超大的. We'd say, nowadays we'd say super entertainment. Super, 超娱乐. Entertainment. Well, that's a bigger, big word. In those days, 那时代, this was entertainment. Okay, going on. Androcles was led out into the middle of the arena. Okay? Androcles, the captured slave, okay, was led out into the middle of the arena. 斗兽场, 斗兽场. Arena is like a big stadium where people are sitting around watching. And very soon, 很快, the lion, which had been kept without food for several days, 很快, the lion, which had kept without food, they did not give the lion any food to eat for several days. Sometimes we say when you're really, really hungry, I'm as hungry as a lion or I'm as hungry as a horse. Okay? So the lion was very hungry. Going on. And he was soon to be let loose from his den. Den is where the lion is sleeping and staying. That's his den. And he would be let loose, so 放走. And he was led out, and he was bounding toward the victim, roaring loudly. Okay, he came bounding out. To bound is 是一种跑步, boom, 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 bounding, 跳跳跳, 很快, bounding, okay, towards, 向着 the victim, 受害者. Of course, that's Androcles, right? Androcles is going to be eaten, and the lion is hungry, and he roars loud, 大声叫, roaring loudly, ha ha, 大声叫. Going on. As soon as the lion reached Androcles, he recognized his friend. 他认识他的朋友. He recognized that Androcles was not lunch. He was his friend. 不是要吃的，是他的朋友，反而是他的朋友. And instead of tearing him to pieces, 他不愿意把他 What is it, tearing to pieces? Tearing to pieces means to tear, 是撕裂, 是撕裂它, to break it up into small pieces, to tear into small pieces. going on. The lion fawned over Androcles. What does it mean to fawn? That's a very good way. 很关心他,喜欢他, okay? And it even explains what fawning is. 舔他的手,舔他的手, like a friendly dog. 好像一个很友善的一个狗一样. Whoa, everybody was surprised. Going on. The emperor was extremely surprised. 非常非常惊讶,非常惊讶 at this, and he summoned Androcles to come to him. 叫他过来,就跟他谈话. Go ahead. Androcles told the emperor the whole story. Of course, when in that kind of situation, you tell the story. Why the animal, the lion, is acting that way. Whereupon, 结果, whereupon, in this case, means 结果, the slave was pardoned, 解放, okay? 解放, he was let go, 这个饶恕, and set free, 这个放走. The lion was let loose too. Whoa, 不简单. The lion was let loose too. 也被放走了, to return to his 原来, native in this case means 原来的森林, the forest of trees. Wow, what a story. You can see why the ancient people liked to tell the story. Well, you can write about your famous story to theoldprinciple@gmail.com, or you can look at our website. 我们的网站是 www.theoldprinciple.org. It's great to have been with you, and I'm looking forward to you joining me next time.